play with that number, okay guys?
Welcome to the Safety Village, everybody. My name is Melissa Loza and I'm the Executive Director here. And we are here in our village. Sadly, the village is empty. Typically, we see our streets full. They're full of young people on Jeeps, young people on bikes. They're learning important safety messages. And we're very sorry that we couldn't open our doors and welcome you here this year. So now we're going to introduce you to our emergency service partners, education partners, and they're going to talk to you a bit about their roles and what they would do here on a normal day. I hope you guys enjoy.
All right, well, there's our director from the Safety Village. Thank you for that. So I'm joined here by my partners at Community Service Branch at the Windsor Police Service, Constable Jamie Ajete Nelson and Constable Neil McEachran. Thanks for joining us, guys, with our early years group here. Again, we're going to bring you through important safety messages to keep yourself safe with our community partners and from EMS, Windsor Fire, and of course, Jamie Ajete Nelson. He's going to bring you for a tour of our vehicle and give you some important safety tips. And Neil is also going to bring us to our 911 center where you're going to meet one of our dispatchers. So that's a nice treat too, to see who's on the other end of these phones when you call 911. So without further ado, now we'll head into hear from our EMS partners.
Hi boys and girls, my name is Krista Hillier. I'm a paramedic with Essex-Windsor EMS and I've been working about 14 years now. I'm here today to talk to you boys and girls about what a paramedic does and our ambulance. I'm going to show you the back of our ambulance and make you guys familiar with it, the bags we use, the things we do. And in event of an emergency that you have to call someone, who do you call? And also, what is an emergency? So we'll go from there and we'll talk about it to make you guys feel really comfortable and safe around us paramedics. Boys and girls, we're here at the ambulance and I'm going to show you something that we use. So if you do have to call for an emergency, and I want you guys to think about it, what number would you use? And if you can say it out loud, that'd be great. Or with me, we're going to use 911, okay? So when we come to the house, we have a stretcher and I'm going to show you it because it's super cool. Watch this. Come on into the back. So this is the back of the ambulance, boys and girls, and I want you guys to kind of look around, see what it's like. And this is where we would take our patients. So we would put them on the bed right here. This is one of our bags that we use that has all of our drugs, medical supplies, and there's nothing in this bag that can hurt you. This is all to help you. There's oxygen supplies, medications. We're there to help whoever needs in a time of an emergency. And an emergency would be, let's say mom and dad aren't feeling good. They have chest pressure. They can't breathe, or maybe they fell off a ladder or something happened. That's when you would go to the phone, you would call 911, and you would communicate with our dispatch. So these are our radios, and then they would send either EMS, police, or fire, and if it was an emergency for medical, paramedics would come. We usually work in partners of two, sometimes one person will come, but there's always an ambulance that will take you to the hospital, okay? And this is where our office is. And they would lay right here. This right here is our monitor. So this, we'll turn it on, and we would hook it up to the patient. And this is gonna record everything. It's gonna do your oxygen levels, it's gonna do your blood pressure, it's gonna check your heart. I can even take a picture of your heart rhythm. It's super cool, okay? And I can see if something is going on in there, and then I can communicate with the hospital to get you guys the best care, or whoever needs it, okay? Now all of this is all cool, super fun stuff. Like I said, none of this hurts. So don't ever be scared of being back here, okay? We take really good care of people, especially you little people. In the walls, these are all extra supplies that we have in case somebody needs something. So anybody who's asthmatic or maybe allergic to bees, we can give you guys a little treatment in here, and it's a mist that would go on your face like a mask. Doesn't hurt, and it's super cool. Okay, so this will help you breathe. And then we have other stuff in here. Sometimes we have the police that will come ride with us. Let's say there's a car accident or the paramedics need to be really safe. The police officers would sit here with a seatbelt so that they make sure we're okay. Other than that, sometimes we have students. You might have an extra person sitting here, but usually what I do is when I'm in the back with mom and dad or grandma, grandpa, whoever, I sit right here and we talk and we figure out what's going on until we get to the hospital. Hi guys, so this is the front of the ambulance. So if I'm in the driver's seat, I'm driving to the hospital and my partner is in the back with our patient. If there's two of us up front, that's usually we're headed somewhere. So if we are going to a location, so let's say your house, and I want you guys to remember, try and think of your address if you have to call 911. And if you don't know it, you can find maybe a piece of mail that's laying around the house, or maybe mom and dad have written something down so that you know. Another really good idea is you can actually go in front of the house and just say the number that's on your house, because everybody has a number, right? And then that way our dispatch, so this is how we communicate with them, this is our radio, they'll be able to communicate with us where we're going. And then they send us all of our information into our computer, and it tells us whether we're going lights and sirens or if we're just going at a normal speed. And that just depends on the call. And then once we get there, then we let dispatch know, okay, we're here, we're safe, and we're ready to work. If you guys haven't heard the sound of an ambulance or what it looks like when we're coming lights and sirens, let me show you.
All right, we're back. Well, that was definitely interesting to hear from her and just show us the inside of an ambulance and to show us what we do in an emergency for a medical emergency, right? And that important number, 911, that's definitely going to be a reoccurring theme here throughout the presentations. But for now, we're going to take it to our partners at Windsor Fire, and they're going to show you what they do in an emergency when there's a fire happening, and give you some safety tips too, and in the event that you're running in this type of an emergency. Teachers, if you want, you can pause this video right now, and our Windsor Fire presentation will start directly after that.
Good morning. Welcome to the Safety Village today. We're going to be going over a few safety tips along with my friends from Station 7 today, Firefighters Bornay and Firefighter Kazukas. We'll be showing you the gear. But let's start with a few safety messages first. The first safety message I'd like to get across is having working smoke alarms in your home. They are required by law and they save lives. For you kids, what I'd like you to do when you go home is ask your parents to press the button. Make sure that the smoke alarm is working, but also make sure that it is under 10 years old. In the back, make sure that you change the battery twice a year. And the best time to do this is when you move the clocks forward and when you move the clocks back. Our second message is for you kids. When you're on the playground, you're walking down the sidewalk, or if you're at home, if you find barbecue lighters, if you find matches, if you find lighters, please do not play with them. You will get burnt. Go towards your adult, your grandma. If you're at school, go towards your teacher and make sure that the teacher knows it so they can get rid of it, guys. So that it keeps it away from your kids, especially your little brothers and sisters. This is a home escape plan. We need you to go home draw your house out. What we're looking for is 2 ways in and out of every room. Okay? Living room, your bedrooms, you can use a window or a door. What's also important is that you have a meeting place outside, and you all know where that meeting place. It could be the tree, it could be the next door neighbor. It's important to have the meeting place. Okay, so when everybody's outside. Also, guys, we also have to get the fire department rolling. So that important number, 911. Call 911. You only call 911 if it's an emergency. But also, it's also important about 911. It can be used for the police, ambulance, and calling the fire department. Never play with that number, okay, guys? What we're going to do now is we're going to have firefighter Borne put on his gear, kids. Go ahead. See this gear he's putting on? It's like a snowsuit. It'll protect him. Remember, kids, smoke rises, so we want you to get down and low in the fresh air. Come this way, Warren. This is what you're going to see. It's going to be like talking to Darth Vader, guys. This is what you want me to grab him, say, get me out of here. I'm ready to go, okay? We're looking for you. We want you to get out.
Hi kids, I'm Firefighter Reno with the Windsor Fire Service, and we're going to go over some of the equipment on our truck here. So in our first compartment, as we respond to medical calls as well, we have our medical trauma bag that we use and utilize. Some of our other equipment, we have some water rescue equipment that we use for those situations. We have a large fan here for blowing the smoke out of the house. And then when we have to do forcible entry, we got the tools. Chainsaw to go through the wall. And a nice big cement saw here to cut through any cement or steel. So obviously we're using some heavy equipment here, and every situation is different, and this vehicle carries all our necessary equipment.
Hey guys, look at this. Another cool tool that we have is our hoses. I'm sure everyone recognizes this. I'm gonna get it out for you. This right here, this is ultimately what we use to put out the fire. Like I said, I'm sure you all recognize it. It goes really long and it flows water. There we go.
What you just saw there was our ladder truck doing an evolution going up in the air. Two things we could use that for. One is putting water on a structure that's very high in the air. And number two is we use it several times in the year is rescuing people that are 3, 4, 5 stories off their balconies when there's a fire. So it's another tool we have on our truck. As Firefighter Reno was showing you all the other extrication tools, the cutting tools. This truck also holds over 300 gallons of water. So it's for water, it's for fire suppression, water. You never know when the tones go off what you may be encountering. And that's what's amazing about a fire truck. Whenever you're out in the road or walking down the street, you may hear our sirens. Two things. One, we want you to get out of the way, move to the side, pull to the right, so we can get to the emergency we're getting to. Two, kids, if you hear the fire truck coming down, put your hands over your ears to protect yourself. The sirens are loud. That's why we want to let you hear them, okay? Take care and have a great day.
Okay, we're back. That was definitely an interesting presentation from Windsor Fire, seeing all the equipment that they have to wear to keep themselves safe in an emergency involving a fire. We got to see the inside of all the equipment that they carry on a fire truck. And again, a lot of safety tips that are important for you. And again, that important number, 911 in an emergency, right? But for now, we're going to take it to us, Windsor Police, and what we do to keep the community safe. Jamie, I believe you're going to take us somewhere for this part of the presentation.
You know what? I think I'm tired of sitting in this office. Let's take a trip outside and check out our vehicle and talk about safety on the road. So I'm gonna grab my hat, gonna grab my equipment, and let's take a trip.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it.
See you outside. Hi kids, I'm Constable Jamie Ajete Nelson with the Windsor Police Service, and I work out of the Community Service Branch. We work with different community partners within the community, whether it's from the school board or to newcomers to Canada. Today we're going to talk about how to identify a police officer. So we're going to talk a little bit about my uniform, and I'm going to take you inside the vehicle, show you what it's like inside a police vehicle. So first, how do we identify a police officer? The first thing you're going to see is all this equipment. On a police uniform, it says police, so you got to see that first. But also, you want to look for this crest right here. All Windsor police uniforms have this crest, whether it's on your shoulder or on your hat. So that's very important to notice that. Also, we wear lots of equipment. So an officer, a uniform one, will have a vest on. And they'll also have their use of force option. Different things they're going to use as police officers. So we're going to have our firearm, and we're also going to have our taser as well. But also we have our radio, which we use to communicate with our dispatchers. Other items that we have are our handcuffs, our baton, our tourniquet, more handcuffs, and we also have magazines that we use for our rifles. Altogether, this weighs about 40 pounds that we carry on as officers in our vest and on our waist. Also, you want to know how to identify a police car or a police cruiser. It's very important to notice, I talked about that crest. It's right here on our vehicle. It says police. You'll see different vehicles like this one. We have a Charger, and we also have an SUV called an Interceptor. So now, I got a surprise for you. I'm going to take you over to our 150-year anniversary vehicle. It's at our 150-year anniversary, we designed a brand new cruiser, and it actually won a national award. So follow me, and we're going to take a look at that. There's a lot of cool things happening in our vehicle. It's more like a little headquarters where we can do all our work and communicate with different units within the police service. We have a buoy. Sometimes we need to get into the water if we have to rescue someone. Our first aid kit, because sometimes as officers we are the first ones on the scene, so we got to be prepared for whatever we need. You know, we deal in traffic, so we have traffic pylons with a light, so to keep the community safe as well when we're dealing in the traffic. We have caution tape because we don't want people in areas where they don't need to be when we're doing investigations. We have a biohazard kit. So this is when we're dealing with different chemicals that are dangerous to ourselves and the public, and we want everyone to be safe. And also here, we have a safety bear. We have this bear sometimes when we're in different situations and we need to put a smile on a child's face. We have these bears here to take care of them, just for that moment. So there's so many different tools in here. As you can see, our computer system, this keeps us in contact with our headquarters where we talk to dispatch. And most importantly, spare tire. You never know when you're going to get a flat, so you got to know what you're doing. So we have a tire in there. So we're prepared for any situation that we might need until help gets there. So in our vehicle we have a few different sirens, and we also have different lights as well. So here are some of the sounds of the Windsor police vehicles. Constable Ajete Nelson to dispatch.
Go ahead.
Just checking if everything's 10-4.
Everything is done for.
So there we have dispatch, and I call them the brains of the organization. Any information that we need, we get on our radio and we can talk to them. So it's very important that I state my name and I say who I'm talking to, because information is so important. Also, we have in here another radio where we can talk to people outside the vehicle. We have different lights. As you can see, we have lights on top of the vehicle and around the vehicle as well. But we also have a spotlight right here in the front of the vehicle where we can move around while we're driving or still. Hi kids, today we're here at the Children's Safety Village, and today we're going to talk about pedestrian safety. We're going to talk about what to do when at traffic signals, stop signs, and also when we're at the railway crossing. So let's take a trip through the city. So here we have traffic signals. They'll be doing different things. It's going to be directing which way traffic goes and when pedestrians should be crossing the street. We have three different things that are going to happen with the traffic signal. We're going to have red, which means stop. We're going to have amber, which means caution. And we're going to have green, which means go. Also for the pedestrians crossing, we have a stop hand and we also have a walking signal. So what I want to talk about today is what we're going to do when we come to an intersection. Now when we're at an intersection, the first thing we want to do is stop. And we want to see what's happening with traffic. Then we want to look what's happening with the traffic signal. If it's a red, we don't want to cross. If it's an amber or a yellow light, we still don't want to cross. The only time we want to cross is when it is green and also when there's the walking signal. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look for traffic. We're going to see if it's either red, yellow, or green. Red means stop. Yellow means stop, still don't cross. Now it's showing green, and it's showing a person should walk, so I'm gonna walk. Okay, we're coming to another intersection. Right here we have a stop sign, S-T-O-P. That's a stop. Also, it's red. So that's another indication that you should stop. So it's important, just like we do when we're at a traffic signal, we want to come to the corner and we want to look for traffic. All right, now that we don't see any traffic, another important thing is we want to cross between the solid lines. We don't want to be on either side of them, we want to be right in the middle. There we go, we have another sign. This sign means that there's a railway crossing ahead. So that is a clue that there's going to be a railway crossing coming. So let's take a walk. Here we go. X marks the spot. We've made it to our railway crossing. Important to notice that we have the X and we have lights and we have a gate. Important rule. You do not want to be playing around train tracks, on or near them. It's not safe. Sometimes when we see trains, they look like they're going slow, but they're actually going much faster than they appear. So here we have it, the gates are down. What that means is we do not cross those tracks. Even if we don't see the train is coming. So we don't want to be on the tracks, we don't want to be on the gate. We want to be a good distance behind that gate to make sure that we are safe.
You wouldn't play with a snake, you wouldn't jump from a a plane. You wouldn't swallow a rape. Why would you play near a train? You wouldn't swim with a shark. You wouldn't swing from a crane. You wouldn't hike in the dark. Why would you mess with Trey? Watch for crisscross, 'cause he's got your back. He will keep you safe when you stay off the tracks. And ding, 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 now here is the thing. Let's sing, sing, sing about train safety.
For more information about train safety in Windsor, visit trainsafetywindsor.ca.
Oh, he's back. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for that tour of the vehicle and all those safety tips. Definitely great messages for the kids there. Thank you.
Well, I love being outside and I love talking about safety and I love showing off our vehicle. So I hope you got a lot from it. Remember, stay off those tracks and keep those eyes up and stay focused, kids.
Thanks, Jamie. For the next part of the presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about stranger danger. So for that, we're going to be taking it to a video that really illustrates the importance of that.
Okay, our video about stranger danger. Be very careful about who a stranger is. Know what a stranger is, right? And what to do if someone you don't know tries to talk to you or tries to come too close to you. So this video will help you a lot in knowing what to do in that case. Always remember though, right? In case it's stranger danger, always be loud and be seen. Let people hear you, let people see what's going on. Okay, so next up, here's our video. Enjoy it.
Kid Smarts.
Watch out, guys. Hey. Hey, come on, man. Oh, sorry. What are you guys doing?
Oh, nothing, just drawing.
Excuse me, kids. I'm kind of lost. Can one of you come over here and help me? I'll even give you $5.
Yes.
Please. It's almost time for lunch, kids.
But Mom, that man needs directions. Hey, where's my $5?
Who is that?
We don't know. He was lost and asked for our help.
I hope you weren't thinking about going over there.
But isn't it nice to help people?
Adults shouldn't ask children that they don't know for help. If they do, you should check first.
Check first?
That's right. If an adult that you don't know asks you to do something or go somewhere, you should check first with the adult in charge.
Check first. That's easy to remember.
So what would you do if an adult you didn't know asked you to help find a lost puppy?
Check first.
And what would you do if an adult you didn't know offered you $5 to keep a secret?
Check first.
Or if an adult you didn't know offered you a ride to school?
Check first. Check first. Check first.
That's right. Good job. Now let's all go inside and check on lunch.
Yes. Woohoo! I hope it's ham and cheese. I'm hungry.
Okay, we're back from that video. I think that was great, eh? One of the main themes there is check first, right? So if you're not sure, definitely ask a parent or somebody that's in charge. Check first before you act and talk to somebody you don't know. Great video, thanks. For the next part of the presentation, we're going to be talking to we've been saying about the reoccurring theme here, right? Where do you call in an emergency? You call 911, right? So who answers that phone on the other end when you're calling 911? Well, we're going to take you there. So let's go talk to one of our dispatchers. Teachers, if you want to pause the video now, the dispatching video is going to be coming up and that's about 10 minutes long. Okay, everybody, we're back. We're joined by Jennifer Knackley from our E911 Center, our communications center. And she's going to talk a little bit about, what she does on a daily basis and the type of calls she receives and the important questions that she's going to ask you and that you'll need to know so that you can provide her that so we can give you the best service possible and help you in that emergency. So Jen, thanks for joining us. We got some young kids here that are really happy to be hearing from you.
Thank you, Sergeant Droulard. Hello, everybody. Like Sergeant Droulard said, I'm Jen Knackley from the 911 Center. So the first thing I'd like to talk to you about today is what is an emergency, right? So an emergency is anything where someone's life is in danger. So for example, if someone's hurt or being hurt, you would definitely call 911. When you call 911, you're going to be asked, do you need police, fire, or ambulance? And in a case like that, it could be medical as well as police. Another reason to call 911 is if you see any property damage. And so what that means is whether somebody's stealing something or damaging a car or any type of property, somebody's home, that type of thing, it is definitely a 911 call. Another one, of course, is for fire. If you see a fire, even if it's small, call 911 right away. Now, when you call 911, the first thing you're going to be asked is, do you need police, fire, or ambulance? Okay. So you let the operator know which one you need. And if you're not sure, that's okay. Explain what's happening and the dispatcher will help you with that, okay? You also will need to know your location, of course. That's going to be the very first thing that you get asked. Where is this happening? So it's really important that you know where you are. If you don't know your home address, that's something that you should be learning and memorizing, okay? In case you find yourself one day dialing 911. Some of the other questions that you'll be asked with regards to the emergency could be what the person looks like, which way did they go, were they in a car, did they leave on a bicycle, all that type of information, okay? And just provide the operator whatever you can. Try to stay calm and don't hang up. You're going to be asked a lot of questions and you might even be given some direction. Sometimes the operator might say, stay inside or go outside, depending what the emergency is. The most important thing is to stay on the phone. Do not hang up until the operator says it's safe to do so. I've taken a call for 911 where all I hear is laughing and there's really no emergency. It is so important that you don't prank call the 911 center. Remember, when you're dialing 911 and there is no true emergency, that means that somebody else who has an emergency may not be able to get through the lines. So it's very important that you don't prank call us. If you accidentally dial, sometimes that can happen, it's okay. Stay on the phone and just let the operator know right away that it was an accidental dial, okay? No one's going to be upset with you over that.
So Jen, I have a what if. What if someone wants to call 911, but they can't speak or they're afraid to speak? What should they do? What's going to happen?
That's a very good question, Neil. If for some reason you can't speak, still stay on the line. If we detect that there is some form of emergency, we do have capabilities to track your cell phones. And we will rely on this information to try to find you and help. If you can whisper something and it's safe to do so, then do that as well, okay?
Thanks, Jen. That was very good. One other thing too, and sometimes people don't speak English properly, and so they may not want to call because they think that we can't help them.
Sometimes that does happen where people might be afraid to call in because they don't speak English, but just know that we have access to over 200 different languages. So if you call in or your parents call in and they can't speak English very good, that's okay. All they have to say is the language that they speak, and we will connect you with an interpreter, someone who speaks that language, as well as still with the 911 operator. It only takes a few moments. Just stay on the line if you ever find yourself in that situation.
Thanks, Jen.
I'd like you all to know that in addition to 911, which we've already talked about, that it's for life and death emergencies, crimes in progress, fires, accidents, that sort of thing, we also have a non-emergency police line at 519-258-6111. This number can be dialed for anything police related that is a non-emergency. And again, an operator will answer and you can explain the situation and they'll help guide you in the direction that we need to go.
Yeah, and that might actually be a time where they're able to maybe tell an adult, I see somebody that's acting suspiciously, or I've seen somebody around the schoolyard that's unfamiliar to me, and they go tell a teacher, but definitely if there's no adult available, then yeah, it's important to know these numbers.
Yeah.
Jen, on any given day, how many calls for service do we get in the city of Windsor?
Just for the city of Windsor and Amherstburg, we can get up to 300 calls a day. That is a lot of phone calls, a lot of people that really need us. So again, it's just really important that you only call and use the resources if you absolutely need it. Yeah, it's a lot of calls a day for us to process and for officers to respond to.
Yeah, so I imagine that this isn't just you, just one person. So do we have like a room of dispatchers, or do you have anything you can show the kids right now to kind of?
Good question, Sergeant Drulard. We do. Just today, we have on day shift today, we have about 8 dispatchers working, and I'll be happy to show you the room. Hold on one second.
Okay, cool.
I have to put my mask on for this part. We have to be very quiet.
Okay.
Wait, can you give us a wave?
Oh, wow.
Can you see? Here's one of our dispatchers.
Okay, look at all the screens they have, eh?
We have a lot of screens, about 5 or 6. We have dispatchers sitting in the middle.
Okay.
All kinds of monitors and phone calls going on.
Wow. Yeah. So like you said, so we have anywhere from 8 to 10 that are working at a time?
That's right.
Or something along those lines. Thanks for that little tour, Jen. Like that's something that the kids don't get to see all the time. So that was really neat to see how many dispatchers are working on any given day. But I think what really struck me was how many screens they have in front of them, so you guys are really good at multitasking with a lot of different tasks all at the same time, it looks like.
That's right. All of those screens are very crucial, very important to us being able to communicate with the officers and provide the information that the caller is giving us. So everything that you're telling us, the call taker is typing into the computer, and the dispatcher at the same time is providing that information on those radios that Sergeant Drulard showed you, so that the officers know what's happening before they even arrive at your emergency. One of the other things that we have on our screens is the map. We have a map which helps us to find the streets and to know where you are. Remember, while you're explaining what's happening to the 911 operator, all of this information is already getting to the officers. So remember, there is no delay in police response. For a true emergency, they are on the way.
And that's crucial, right? Because we're driving on the road, sometimes maybe fast because we got to get there in an emergency. So we're relying on you guys to gather that information and relay it to us, and give us those important aspects that are going on in the call, so that we can all be safe when we're going there, and provide us crucial information because we need it fast. And you guys are good at getting it to us fast. And
that's right. And so many times the operator will keep you on the phone right up until the police arrive, and we know you're in good hands. You're safe at that point. The police have arrived for you.
I was going to say, Jen, I'm sure the kids want to know, how do we find them? They will call, and how do we find them? How do we know where to go to find them?
Hopefully you can provide us your location. That's always the best scenario. Otherwise, we can try to find you using even your name, your parents' name, anything you can tell us. If you happen to be out about in the city of Windsor and you don't know the address, and let's say, for example, you're at a McDonald's, you can tell us that. Tell us you're at the McDonald's. And then if you see anything else that's identifiable that you can tell us, we can try to track which McDonald's you're at. In addition to also tracking the cell phone that you might be calling from, or the payphone that you might be calling from. And just so you know, you can dial at no charge from a payphone, and unregistered cell phones will also dial 911. So again, please don't play with cell phones. Please don't let your little brother, baby brothers and sisters play with cell phones because we don't want any prank calls. Remember, Sergeant Droulard said, when there's an emergency, police are driving really, really fast to get there. And we just want to make sure that everybody's safe and that when they're driving that fast to get there, it's for a true emergency.
All right, perfect. Jen, thank you so much for joining us today. We're really thankful that you had the time to talk to these kids to give them this important information.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me today.
Okay, we're back. So again, all of our earlier years kids, I hope you really enjoyed the presentations today, meeting our community helpers there, EMS, Windsor Fire, Jamie showing off what Windsor Police and what we do. We talked about stranger danger, we talked to a dispatcher, and we learned a lot of important lessons today. So thanks everybody for joining us. And again, on behalf of the Safety Village, thanks again. And we're hoping everybody has a great summer, and maybe we'll see you back in person at the Safety Village next year. Let's hope, but have a great summer. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully, like I said, we're looking forward to the day where we open our doors and we welcome you guys back here in person. Have a great summer.